Hello everyone and welcome to the TVP T50/51 review, where today we are gonna start by looking at the armor. So it's pretty much the same as the tier 9 was. You get like 100 lower plate, you get like 150, 160 upper plate. These cheeks are also around 200. The only way of bouncing shots is like if someone hits you at this angle, for example, or if they hit you in this part, like frontally. But other than that, you can't rely on this armor, and when it comes to the turret, you still have the same as the tier 9 had. You get a pretty much impenetrable gun mantlet, and then you get very weak cheeks. This plate is also very weak. The parts which are more to the side of the turret are pretty strong frontally, but let's get real, like no one is gonna shoot at that unless they get really unlucky. So overall, you cannot rely on this armor, and one thing which is also worth mentioning is the fact that this tank can actually get HE'd through the side, unlike the tier 9 where you had some spaced armor here. Uh, in the tier 10 you don't, which kind of sucks because like anyone can pen you, because this plate is like 43 millimeters. Like even if you angle like this, tanks like the Vickers are gonna pen this even like this, to be honest. So yeah, this is it about the armor, and now let's go to the setup. Alright, before looking at the setup, I want to tell you a few things about the tank. So one of its main advantages is the mobility. You have 60 top speed, 20 backwards, which means that it's, I think, a little bit slower than the Leo 1, but it's not very far away from reaching the Leo 1 speed. So it's definitely a very fast medium tank. And the other thing which makes this tank is the gun. You get one extra shell from the tier 9, you get better intro clip than the tier 9 has, you get better gun handling, you get longer reload though, which is actually really long. Like it's 22 seconds. You know, like the T57 Heavy, the 50B, the Shitbarn, those tanks have like 19 seconds reload. This has 22, so repositioning with this tank and using your brain effectively is very important, because otherwise this reload time will fuck you over. Like it will just definitely get you killed in a lot of situations. So you definitely need to abuse the mobility of this tank to the maximum. You need to look for opportunities whenever you can, basically, between reloads. And you also get the same penetration as the tier 9 has, which means that it's gonna be among the worst penetrations in tier 10. Like this has the same pen as the Object 140, for example, with heat, and 319 pen is like still enough for most situations, but E100 turret can cause some troubles here and there, although it's gonna be like penable if you aim properly and if you get lucky, obviously. So now we can actually look at the setup which I'm running. So I'm using the engine boost here because it can definitely help you in a lot of situations. This makes the mobility even better for 15 seconds with the setup that I'm using. And apart from that, I'm using repair kit and multi-purpose kit. Here I'm obviously running once again double food and the big fuel. Like there are no other options here in my opinion. Ammo loadout wise, I was using 4 HE and 20 heat in the beginning, but then I was like, let's increase the amount of HE to 6, because this means that even if you like miss 1 or 2 HE shells, it's not a problem, because then you will have another clip of HE. And when you need to deal with tanks like Grilla, for example, it can be really helpful. So that's why I take a little bit more than 1 clip of HE. I don't take 2 clips because that might be a bit too much, but I'm taking 6 for now. If I run out of HE in one battle, I might actually change it to 8. And if you want 8 HEs, then I would probably recommend running 16 heat, 24 APCR, and then, you know, the 8 high explosive shells. As far as the equipment goes, I'm running calibrated shells. This tank is an autoloader. Most autoloaders actually require you to use calibrated shells. I mean, they don't require you, but it's really useful if you have calibrated shells. And then obviously you are going for the better gun handling. At least that's my opinion. Here, you could run both of these, because ramming tanks can actually help you a lot when you are, for example, YOLOing a Waffle or a Grille, and you shoot him 4 times with HE but you don't kill him. This might save you from receiving like 20 or 30 HP of ramming. And also this tank gets rammed quite often whenever the enemies can ram you, so this could also be a good idea. This also gives some ammo reg, durability, some tracks and some fuel tanks. So overall maybe this one is the best one. I'm gonna play I think one game with this one and then maybe one game with this. Not like it makes a huge difference, but still. Here I'm going for the extra HP, toolbox, optics, engine accelerator here because I only use this in heavy tanks. And here I am going for the first one, which decreases the cooldown speed of the consumables. So now the engine boost is 51 seconds and the repair kits are 62. So this is the setup which I recommend running on the TVP. And now we can take a look at some games. Okay, first of all I will play this replay for you while I'm going to talk a few more things about the TVP. So the general playstyle of this tank is that you need to take a really aggressive position in the beginning, at least that's what I do in this tank. And then I'm just playing according to the situation which I see on the minimap. Checking the minimap regularly is a very important thing when playing the TVP, and also checking your teammates regularly is also a very important thing, because you need very good situational awareness to be successful in this tank, and you achieve that by constantly looking at the minimap and the teammates. So for example, if I didn't have like any teammates here, I would immediately try to go towards the city after the first clip. But generally this is what I do with the TVP. I just take an aggressive position such as this one, just put one clip into the enemies, and then if I have to I reload, like in this situation, and then I'm just, you know, repositioning while reloading. Here I'm not gonna reposition too much, I'm just, you know, going from one side of this little ridge to the other side of the ridge. This is not a very big positioning, but once again it's still a repositioning, I guess. And you can confuse the enemies sometimes just by making some micro moves. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, this tank can definitely do a lot of damage in a very short time. Like you can see that I did damage to the Skoda, the Batchat, and the T54E1. So you can see in this game what the tank is capable of doing, especially against mediums that don't have too much armor. Uh, Another thing which is worth mentioning, in my opinion, is that I really like to play this tank in Supremacy. And the reason for that is because this tank is really good in longer games, and Supremacy games are usually longer because people YOLO less often, they go for the bases more. So, in my opinion, Supremacy is the better game mode for this tank. I would probably only play it in Supremacy if I was you, to be honest. But then again, it's up to you. If you want to just win games quickly, then you can play Encounter more often. But for me, who is going for mainly damage, Supremacy is the way. And this tank is really good in longer games once again because the reload time means that when the game is very short, you don't really have the DPM of other tanks like T62A or Leo 1 for example, so your tank is significantly worse than pretty much any other tier 10 medium in very short games. However, in these longer games, where you actually have the time to clip people, when you have the time to constantly relocate, when you have time to do all the things which this tank requires to be effective, then it's actually gonna be very effective. So here in this game you can see that I was doing a lot of repositioning. I went to the city after clearing the hill, and now I'm just putting the last few shots into the Kremlin, and this is pretty much the game for me. I did 5.7k damage in like 3 minutes, but then again this game was a pretty exceptional game because basically everything went right for me. The enemies were not very keen on focusing me, not very keen on YOLOing me, and this is what you need with the TVP in my opinion. As you can see, this game with 5.7k damage, 2 kills is enough for a second class at the moment, so yeah, acing this tank probably requires something like 1800 base XP or some crazy shit like that. So if you are looking for acing it, don't. Like, it's just probably not gonna happen. I was not able to get a single first class with the tank so far. I played 42 games with below 3.7k average damage, but really good win rate. This should go up to like maybe 3800, but we will see that by the time I reach 100 games. Now I will show you a few live games, so let's go. So here we are in the first game, which is on Post or Faust or whatever the fuck this map is called, and they have a Leo, they have a Vickers, they have a Progetto. Not too much armor in the enemy team, but it's also probably enough for me to not go to the right side. Yeah, I guess I'm going to the left side, which is quite unusual for medium, but I see this as my best option in this situation, although I have an E50M in my team, which could be really helpful on the other side, but I'm just gonna come here. Hopefully it will work. Spotted an M103 over there. First shot was a miss, second shot was a hit. Already going for the reload here, simply because I don't think I will shoot anyone in the next like 22 seconds. And in my opinion, you should always reload in these type of situations. I see an Emil, who is gonna be surprised very soon. I think I will wait for him to shoot a few times and then I will unleash my clip potential to this guy. I can easily peek here because his intro clip is quite dog shit. And I was able to get the kill. Right. So now what are we gonna do? I think I will go for the Yak Tiger. Killing TDs with this tank is something which you should definitely do, and which you can definitely do, because this tank is really good at flanking stuff. It's really good at like, yeah, doing stuff like that. Oh boy. Alright, this is quite unfortunate because they have an M103 together with the Yak Tiger now. So because of that, I'm going to go wider a little bit. If I find the 183, it might be a bit of a problem because getting shot by 183 in this tank is gonna hurt, let's say like that. Alright, this is the Yak Tiger. 2 shots, 3 shots, and 4 shots. Well, this is what you can do with the TVP, boys. They are up to 2.3k damage, although I didn't really do all of that damage in a very short time, but it's okay. Damage is damage, as they say. Now, what do we do? I'm gonna YOLO this guy, or, you know, YOLO him like this. Rush him and then people leave immediately. So his teammates won't be able to... Nice HE! There's a Leo right there. Alright, so I got scared by the Leo quite a bit, because I was not expecting him. Anyway, now I can help the E50M with the Leo, I think. So that is gonna be my plan for now. Gonna load some spicy HE shells for the Leo. Fortunately, I wasn't able to finish him. However, I am able to reposition a little bit. And they have a projectile somewhere. He's right there, actually. Just 1200 HP, which means that I can kill him with one click. But it's not guaranteed whatsoever. Right, I was able to kill him, and now I need to people leave very quickly because the Leo is coming. And he probably knows that I'm reloading. He's actually going away, which is quite weird in my opinion. Anyway, they have a Vickers somewhere over here, which I will try to surprise. It might be in that bush. Of course he is. The 183 is in my ass. Alright, I'm probably not winning this game, so that means that I'm gonna try to get as much damage here as I possibly can by shooting this 183. Unfortunate. I wasn't able to pen him. If I would have penned him, it would have been a 6k damage game. And if I penned all of my shots, it would have been pretty much 7k damage. Well, it was 6k anyway, so it was It was a really good game, but unfortunately I wasn't able to win. Simply because they had this Vickers in my back, they had this Leo who was not a threat because he was very low on HP, but they had this 183 who was unfortunately able to hit the shot, but it was a good game regardless. So let's just jump into the second one. Alright, this is the second live game where we are playing on Vineyards, and this is a pretty interesting matchup because they have a lot of tier 9 tanks and only 2 tier 10s. We probably have the medium advantage because we have 2 tier 10 mediums. They have a Batchet AP which is not very strong in my opinion. So on this map I'm just going to the middle, and my main mission in the start is to spot the enemies, mainly the heavies who are hopefully going to the city because then I could farm a lot of damage out of them, but we will see I guess. Someone is capping A, touch the 704. Alright, I'm gonna pre-aim that position where the heavies always cross. If they are in the city, that is. For fuck's sake, I missed the first shot. Didn't really aim properly there. Shadow giving me his flat tracks, which is pretty much perfect. I was able to hit 3 shots out of 4, which is okay, I guess. And the Progello is already down to 900 HP, so he's definitely clippable for me. Just like the 704 if I get slightly lucky. Oh man, it's not happening by the looks of it. Ah, Progello, dude. Progello decided to try and shit on me. Okay, so you can see the very fast intro clip of the TVP. I was able to put 2 shots into the Progello by the time he was able to put 1 into me. So that's a pretty good trade once again. What's not good in the other hand is that they are kind of pushing the city and that they still have these guys over here. So I will try to eliminate them as fast as I can. 704 should be a one shot. Perfect. Unfortunately, he was able to angle in time. Right. So what do we do next? We will go for the Conqueror and the Progello. 268. Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, it doesn't matter. We have to play very carefully now, because we are one shot for this stupid ass 268, or for anyone pretty much in their team. I will just blind fire him. I got spotted, which means that he was indeed in that bush. What do we do now? Really interesting situation, I would say. I want to run away, but I also want to survive at the same time, so I will go like this. I think I hit the 268. Nice. Unfortunately the last shot was not a pan. Simply because I hit the upper plate instead of the lower plate, which I would have been able to pan very easily. Now the Progello is YOLOing now, and that's really unfortunate again, because I'm unable to do any endgame damage in these battles, which is once again really unfortunate. Anyway, we almost got 3.6k damage in this game, which is still not the best, so I'm going to play another game. And guess what? We got my most hated map, which is none other than this fucking Yukon. Alright, so what do we do on fucking Yukon? We are probably going to the right side, simply because the left side is unplayable with anything that doesn't have turret armor, so because of that I'm gonna try to help our heavies on the right side, who are hopefully going to the right side, I mean. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan, I guess. Looks like the enemies are also sending a few tanks into this side. which is expected. I'll try to spot them here. With Shadow and Sheridan. I'm lagging here quite a bit, which is quite unfortunate. Alright, it doesn't matter though, because we were able to spot the enemies. Most of the enemies, I would say. So now we can join the gorilla, who is... Well, actually, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna join the gorilla because his position looks actually awful. So I will take a better position, which is probably gonna be here, where I should be able to shoot the E100 from. Dude, can I, like, hit where I'm aiming, please? 212 with heat, which is, you know, laughable. Very laughable roll, but it's okay. We can reload once again. And we can think about who to shit on next. And that choice is gonna be the 113. I will wait for him until he shoots again. I guess I can just peek like this, it's okay. Max roll, 320. And there we go. Although he was able to shoot me once, it doesn't matter too much. I was able to shoot him fucking 4 times. So this is how you trade with the TVP. You always look for trades like this. And it's gonna be always a good trade for you, pretty much. So here I saw that this guy shot. I'm gonna try to abuse that by clipping the living fuck out of him. Just like this. And I have another shot, perfect. Now it's time to people leave again. I see this Sheridan, however, the most damage is in the Yak Panzer. Now I need to make a decision about who to kill next, and in my opinion the Sheridan is gonna be the most important kill here. So I'm gonna use my mobility to chase the shit out of this guy. Perfect, the Yak Panzer is reloading now. I just hope I can do this damage to him. 1 shot, 2 shots, 2 shots, and 3 shots. Nice. Alright, so the third game was really good. 4.4k damage. We got 2 kills as well. And yeah, I mean, in my opinion, this game was really good because I was able to show everything that the TVP is capable of. I was able to perfectly show the repositioning, the trading, what you have to do with the TVP. So that should be enough for today. It was already a pretty long video, I guess. So we ended up on 46 games, 81% win rate, and I think I dropped with the average damage slightly, but it's okay, I can recover it, I guess. Anyway, this was the TVP review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, guys.